ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. In the third book of the Torah, Leviticus, Vayikra, we have an enumeration of disasters that will happen to the Jewish people if they don't follow the directives of the Torah itself. The same thing is repeated. Once it's in the plural, once it's in the singular. It's repeated in the book of Deuteronomy also. Toward the end of the book of Deuteronomy, we also have a long list of disasters that will occur if you do not follow the precepts of the Torah. I know that in many synagogues, they read those paragraphs in a lower voice, sort of not to indicate that we are going to get it for sure, that we are going to get all these curses will happen, will somehow find a target in our community. In some communities, nobody is called to the reading of the Torah of those paragraphs. At least I remember my late father, in his synagogue in Peru, nobody was called to the reading of those paragraphs. In other synagogues, what they do is they hire a person for those chapters, and they pay him for it. And the fellow, for the money, he's going to be called to the Torah while they read these curses. And there's a story of a fellow that came a little late, and they had to wait for him. He says, well, do you think I do it in only one synagogue? I do it in several synagogues. That's why I came a little late. In a sense, I think we are misinterpreting those paragraphs, because those paragraphs tell you something else also. They tell you that curses will come because of your misbehavior, because of your misdeeds. But the opposite is also true, that if you do the right thing, you'll get blessings. So in a sense, this curse is really a promise. It tells you that your future, the destiny of society, depends upon you. It's not arbitrary. It's not that suddenly there is chaos in the world. No, things happen as a consequence of what you do. If you go in the wrong way, well, there'll be consequences for what you're doing it. But at the same time, if you do the right thing, there will be blessings. So my message to you is, don't think of the negative things in this world. That depends upon you. Many a time, failure is a moment to understand better the problem, and you'll be able to do something better next time. It depends upon your attitude. Nature isn't our enemy. To the contrary, I think that we can control nature, many aspects of nature. It depends on what we do. If you misbehave, nature will be against you. But if you behave correctly, the other way around. I live in a beautiful climate. Many a time I get up in the morning and I take a look at the sky. It is so blue. It's a color I don't see really represented in a painting. It is so vast, enormous. What a glorious environment in which we live. A sun that shines, beautiful, trees. It depends upon you. It depends what you are going to do with nature. This is what our people did in Israel. They converted a desert into a garden. And you can also, by not taking care of things, convert a garden into a desert. I think that you have to remember that blessing and curse is up to you. If you behave right, you'll have a blessing. If you misbehave, the curse will come.